Nuclear option isn't a balanced game. It's a semi-realistic simulator. And that means an array of different encounters can play out in ways that are unexpected. In this encounter, a cricket is able to effectively engage and destroy a vortex by exploiting its pilot's mistakes and leveraging the cricket's strengths. A target is acquired. We can see on the monitor that our camera system is tracking through the island mountain. This means that an ally is feeding us target information via data link. Speed and direction give us an idea where the vortex will be, so even if we lose this link, it's possible to infer where the craft will be located. The minimap shows us an effective view of the combat area, and the ally likely feeding us our target information. The vortex is engaged with our ally, but both craft are behind the mountain. We can do nothing to aid our ally. This vortex is likely configured for air intercept, and will probably try to attack us once it's finished with our ally. This means we have two options. We can fly left along the cliffs and sneak into the airfield for a ground strike, or we can fly right and deliberately choose to engage the vortex. Here is where I commit to the engagement directly with the vortex and climb to crest the cliffs. While it is still possible to sneak around the island, attacking this airbase will inevitably expose us to the vortex, but likely without an ally to tell us where it will be coming from. Either option presents a high risk of shootdown, so it's better to have the fight on terms that we choose rather than terms the hostile chooses. We are pinged by 3 hostile radar systems, making the hostile vortex aware of our location. He's still engaged with our allied cricket, which has managed to fire on the airbase. We are attacking with the ARM-S1, which has a no-escape rating of 1.5 kilometers. For this attack to be effective, we need to fire within or as close as possible to that range. It's never a good idea to fly the cricket at even moderate altitudes where an engagement risk is present. Even with ECM pods, the cricket lacks the speed or defenses to operate effectively very high off the deck. By keeping low, we deny the enemy a radar lock and greatly reduce the options they have to attack us with their other weapons. A slight leftward turn brings us closer to our ally and keeps the edge of the cove available for cover. The vortex can't fire until it completes a turn, allowing extra time for us to maneuver on target. The vortex will need to choose which of us will be the priority target. It could fire on both of us, but is more likely to pick one target for focus. We complete a hard right turn to angle on the vortex, which appears to have prioritized me. This is the right decision for the vortex pilot since I am currently in an attacking position known as being nose hot, and my ally is in a nose cold defensive position. The allied cricket could break right once I engage and follow up my attack, making this a risky position for the vortex. Were I flying the vortex in its current position, I would assume that both aircraft are equipped with IRM-S1 missiles and disengage. At 3.7 kilometers, the vortex is coming inside his minimum effective radar missile range. He could take a pot shot, but at this distance and closing speed, my low altitude would probably cause the missile to overshoot. This means the most effective weapon he can use is a thermal missile, which on a vortex would be an IRM-S2 or MMR-S3. I double-check to make sure that my IR flares are selected and confirm their count. We both complete our final turns for a head-on strike. At 2.5 kilometers, thermal missiles become the most effective weapon for both of us. Though we both have a different no-escape rating for our missiles, For those unfamiliar, the No Escape Zone, or NEZ, on the user interface is a statistical bubble at which the targeted craft is unable to escape the inbound missile. I find this term to be overconfident, since a defender can still anticipate a missile shot and take action against a missile being fired, which is what we are about to do. I need to close another kilometer before my IRM S1 becomes the most effective, but am already within the no escape zone for the IRM S2 and MMR S3. If the Vortex fires on a clean lock, his missiles will track close enough that flares can only limit, not prevent possible damage. This means we need to deny the Vortex a clean lock by preemptively dumping flares before he fires as we come into his no escape zone. I fire a single S1 at the target, who fails to return fire or to preemptively dump flares himself. Note that the Vortex has a much more powerful thermal signature and would have needed to start dumping flares before the Cricket, which has a much smaller thermal signature. The Vortex suffers a direct hit, and Datalink instantly records the kill, indicating possible death of the enemy pilot, but at least critical damage to aircraft systems. A fuel fire develops, and the Vortex begins an uncontrolled rightward roll, burning as it falls. This combat encounter was successful, though it required significant risks resulting from an overall lack of air cover on the part of our allies, who should have made allowances for jet fighter escorts to protect the Crickets. Under responsible conditions, a Cricket should never be expected to successfully defend against jet fighter interceptors. This victory was only possible as a result of significant tactical oversight by the Vortex pilot, who should have engaged from greater distance with radar or thermal missiles, leveraging missile pressure and physical deterrence to delay or harass the Crickets from range. This encounter highlights the vulnerability of complex fighter aircraft to damage from small and inexpensive weapon systems. The Vortex maintained full engagement control throughout this encounter and could have easily withdrawn for a better attack line, costing less time than it would have taken the Crickets to close and attack the airfield. In fact, the Crickets would not have been able to conduct an effective attack run under the threat of missile pressure from the Vortex. This concludes our combat encounter. If you made it this far, you probably liked the video. Be sure to show it with a click in the right place, and I'll see you all later.